How's it going, everyone? Today I've got another review for you. This time it's the Odyssea CFS 500 external canister filter. It's 500 gallons per hour, so it's quite a substantial filter. All the instructions are on the box. So you've got the installation instructions on one side of the box, tells you how to install it into your tank. And on the other side of the box you've got the parts list down the bottom here. Shows you how you put all the pieces together, and you can see there all the setup. Shows you a breakdown. Let's have a look inside. On the top of the box it's got the maintenance guide. Tells you how to keep maintaining your filter. So inside we've got a separate box with all the bits and pieces that you need. I'm going to go through these separately in a second. And then in the main part of the box we've got the actual canister itself. The canister is held down by these 6 threaded screws here. If you twist each one open, they just drop down and you can lift the lid. The first thing you'll see is the blue poly filter. This is for collecting up the fine particles. Then you get the white poly filter. This is obviously for the larger particles. And then right at the bottom you get a black carbon sponge with the cutout for the pump head that's inside there. Okay, at the bottom you've got this submersible pump with a removable filter guard on it. You can remove the impeller housing, and for once a budget filter with a ceramic impeller shaft, which is absolutely fantastic. It's not going to be some rusty steel thing, which tells me automatically this pump is going to be a lot quieter than a lot of pumps I've seen. So let's put that back together again. On the bottom of the pump are 3 suction cups, which is how it actually sticks to the bottom of the canister, and obviously by having the suction cups it's going to reduce a bit of the vibration at the same time as well. On the lid you can see this breather tube here. This is to help remove any air that's sitting at the top of the canister when you fire it up. That'll just make its way out through the out port there. I've had to play with this already, but what I have found is putting this back together can be a bit of a nightmare. There's no indication at all on the top of here which way round the pump should go inside the unit, how you put it back together properly. So I've had to devise my own method of putting a scratch on there, and I'll show you why in a second. This is probably the worst thing about this filter so far. I haven't even fired this up yet, so I don't know what the flow's like or anything. I've just initially looked at the bits and pieces. So the way I've worked out the easiest way to put this back together is to put your pump into your carbon block, and with the mark that I've aligned on the sides of the pump housing there on the canister, this pipe should be in line with that mark. If it's not, then nothing will line up. So this is one of the worst things about this filter so far, and that way you can put all your sponges, your filter guard, and then the blue. You don't have to use the sponges that are in here. Obviously you still want to use the blue one because it's going to catch all of the smaller bits and pieces, but you can replace this white one with some bags of ceramic rings. You could have some phosphate nitrate remover in there, anything you want really, for some nice biological filtration. I will probably end up putting some ceramic rings in, maybe a bag or two of my phosphate remover, but then I'll put the blue one back on the top. But for the time being, I'm just going to put this back in. Okay, now as I was saying about the mark that I put on there, if I didn't have that mark on there, when I put this back on, none of these would line up. If that pipe was around a bit further and I put it on like that, nothing would match up. So that's why I've had to put a mark on there, so that I can line these up and do these back up again. So for me, that's a downside of this, is that when you maintain it, putting everything back together again is going to take you a little bit longer than a normal filter where you'll just put the media trays in. But I'm not going to completely write this filter off yet. I'm going to have a look, see what it's like with flow wise. At the moment, the pros for me are that it's a nice big canister. I can put whatever I want inside the canister. There's no limitations there. Okay, inside the smaller box, you've got the bits and pieces for connecting your canister together. You've got two pieces of tubing. These are just over 1 metre long each. You have your water inlet and your water outlet tubing. This water outlet tubing has a multi-directional head on it, so you can swivel it and adjust it wherever you want it. They're made out of a really sturdy plastic, and unlike a lot of the cheaper price filters on the market, these ones actually come with rubber washers on the end, so you're not just relying on plastic to plastic connection. You've actually got something that's going to grip on and do a nice watertight seal. Here's your water inlet, and what you can do is you can connect an extension tube on for the people with deeper tanks, and if you don't want the extension tube, you can just pull the filter strainer off the end, and that just connects on, so you've just got a shorter arm. The other great thing with these is that you get such a big bend on them that it allows it to stand off from the side of the tank, so you're actually sucking up water from right the way around, rather than a lot of time they're right up against the glass and you're really only taking water from 3 sides. This way you're getting a nice straw of water all the way around it, and also if you've got a big lip on the top of your tank, these are going to allow you to get over that quite nicely, but they are a nice sturdy plastic. You also get 2 heavy duty suction cups for holding them on if you need to use them, and they're made out of a rubber, and hopefully they'd stick quite nicely. They provide you with 4 C-clips. These are for connecting your tubing to your canister and to your water inlet and outlet tubes. They just go round the tubing and then they just clip together, and then to undo them you literally slide them sidewards. So I'll show you again. So they just push together like so, and then you can slide them sideways to get them off if for any maintenance. So very easy. Now you get your canister caps, canister taps. You get a marker on the top of them, which allows you to adjust the flow where you want it. And if you look inside, right the way around, there's a thick black piece of rubber in there, so you get a nice watertight seal when you lock the tap off. And these are a really heavy duty plastic, and I like them a lot. They're very well made and very sturdy. They've got a clip on the side to clip them on and off of your canister, and I'll show you that being clipped on in a minute. And then last but not least, you've got the power cable. So you've got UK plug. You get the inline switch for switching your canister on and off, and then the way you connect it to the canister is with this 3-pin connector. They just push together, and then you tighten up a screw for a nice watertight seal. Okay, the canister is now in the cabinet. It was very easy to connect up. And to start up, all I did was filled the canister with water, connected the pipes and turned it on. It's auto priming, so there's no pushing any plungers down, anything like that. Does it automatically for you. The only thing I think that lets this canister down is the fact that you've got no orientation marks as to which way to put the submersible pump, so that you can put the top on the canister properly. Maybe the rib tubings is a personal preference. I'm not a fan of having rib tubing. I prefer to have smooth tubing. I just think it's better for flow, whereas with the rib tubing you get a bit of a drop in flow rate, I feel personally. I'll show you the top. You can see the water outlet there. I'll try and adjust it so you can see how powerful it is. So it's a nice powerful outlet. The inlet is hidden nicely behind the plants. When they grow in, you're not going to be able to see that at all. Brilliant. They cost around about £50 if you have a search online for the Odyssea CFS 500. You'll come across it. They're around about £50. Worth the money? Yeah, I think they're worth the money. Even with the little bit of messing around every time I do maintenance, just to get that submersible in the right place, I think £50 is well worth it. Let me know if you agree or not. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope you've got a little bit out of that review, and speak to you soon.